Okie dokie. All right. Good morning, Zoom. Good morning, YouTube. Good morning, world. Good morning to my beloved Call to Calm community. And good morning to our YouTube family. Like and subscribe. Thanks for being here. Super excited to be able to be with you all. And beyond grateful to share actually what I would like to share today. Last night's accountability call was fantastic. So really grateful for everyone who was on that. Good morning everyone. Morning to all of you all over the world. Yeah. All right. Yay. So, welcome. Good morning. Super happy to be with you all. We're currently live via Zoom and also streaming on YouTube. So hi to everybody over there on YouTube. Hit the bell button, like and subscribe, leave a comment. Thank you. You know, we're really living in a powerful time, and increasingly more and more everything's becoming very clear to me. You don't have problems and you don't have issues. You're just afraid of your own infinity. You're afraid of who you really are. Even though in every moment you are always being who you really are, you're still living in the illusion that you're afraid of it or that there's apprehension around it. And I'm going to explain why. You see, you're not just a human being. You're also an infinite pure potential. And both of these things exist together in perfect harmony. In fact, you're both of these things right now. So instead of observing yourself as two sides of a coin, you have to begin to now have more of a cohesive, inclusive, dynamic relationship with yourself, where you recognize yourself as the coin itself. Yes, I'm a human being. Yes, I'm having experiences. And yes, at the same time, I am this awareness, this energy, this vibration, this essential self. And so, in over 20 years plus publicly of being here, and then all of the before there was Call to Calm, or before there was any kind of a public application for Panache to Sai, all of the years before that, the 21 years before that, I began to realize that human beings were just playing a giant game of peekaboo. That actually, people were afraid of being the thing that they already are. And so let's break this down for a second. Most of you who come to me because you've had some kind of awakening. The problem is that the majority of people on a path of personal development or spiritual development get stuck in the awakening. Why? Because it's familiar. They don't access the deeper level of surrender required to move into the next part of the awakening, which is the revelation of the pure potential and the unknown of who we all are. It's much easier to hold on to forms, to language, to words, to systems, to structures, to teachings, to mantras, to modalities. But after a while, when you profoundly begin to surrender, then you begin to access the more formless manifestation. Now, the formless manifestation is the pure potential, the creative potential of life, reality itself. Everything comes from this formlessness. This is why the more science observes reality, the more they find nothing. The more they uncover an infinite nothingness that just continues to be infinitely nothing. And because in the Western world we don't value nothing, we call it junk, or we call it an anomaly. We don't give it any credence or validity. But actually, the mystical explanation for the nothingness is that it's a source of everything. Leave me a 1 or yes in the chat if you're beginning to recognize that this emptiness, this spaciousness, this nothingness is actually the source of everything. It's the place where everything comes from. Every emotion arises and subsides from the nothingness. Every emotion arises and subsides, every feeling, every thought, every belief, even you. You were born of the nothingness and you'll return to it. Now, after a while we have to realize that the reason why we have an entire population of people stuck in the room of awakening is because they're afraid of the unknown. Now, what's the unknown? The nothingness, the infinite potential. Just take a deep breath. And just leave me a 1 or yes in the chat when you begin to allow yourself to relax into that nothingness, that emptiness. And just noticing that when you're here, there's no language, there are no words. There's just pure potential. Now, you're not the awakening, you're not the form, you're not the manifestation, and you're not the formless, you're both. You're both. You're both things at once. Because the one thing that people have forgotten to include in their experience is dimensionality. You see? So you're experiencing being a human being, and at the same time you're aware of the fact that you are. So you are both the experience and the awareness of the experience that you're having. You're both. So just imagining for a moment that we can just be both. That they don't exist in opposition to each other. They're not two contradictory viewpoints. It's just people observing the truth from two sides of a fence. But actually, when you remove the fence, the two merge together, and then you realize the purpose of your life, which is to bring this infinite formless potential and presence into this world through your form. Leave me a 1 or yes in the chat if you can see that. If you're beginning to recognize that that's the whole point of being a human being and being here, is to bring this pure potential, this possibility, this nothingness, this emptiness into this world. Now, every morning now, since the beginning of Call to Calm, I know, feel, see, and perceive you as the coin itself, as both the manifest form of the truth and the formless potential. And every day since we've started Call to Calm, you've shown up here with problems or issues. Now, the reason why you continue to have problems and issues is because you are unwilling to be the infinity that you are. You're unwilling to be who and what you already are. Take a deep breath. And what happens is we falsely attribute our own fear of the unknown to people, places, situations, circumstances, and things. One of the highlights of last night's call was the simple phrase, it's not your mum, it's your fear. It's not your children, it's your fear. It's not your boss, it's your fear. It's not your co-workers, it's not your colleagues, it's your fear. It's your own fear of the infinity that you are. It's your own fear of the unknown. So human beings don't really have problems or issues. Human beings fundamentally just have a reluctance of being what they already are, because they're afraid of it, because it's the unknown. Now, where most of you struggle, and this depends on the part of the world that you're raised in. If you were raised in the Western world, then you have a fear of the unknown. And the reason why you have a fear of the unknown is because you have a fear of dying. And the reason why you have a fear of dying is because you've been told that there is some penance, some comeuppance awaiting you. So now the unknown, the formless, the infinite pure potential is risky and even scary. And so you have to realize that it's a conditioning, that there's a certain programming that you've received, a certain imprinting. Also, the other reason why you struggle with it is because in the Western world, people don't value the nothingness. They don't value the emptiness. Now, if you were tuning in from India or any part of the Eastern world, then you don't have a problem with this at all. What you struggle with is the whole human stuff, the whole form, phenomenon, being a human being, being in the world. Because from the moment you were born, you were conditioned to seek transcendence. And you were told that transcendence, living in this state where you're in this infinite formlessness, is the highest state. But both of you have been lied to. The Western conditioning of it's about the form, it's about the language, it's about the structure, that it has to be something, that we have to continue to exist in the world with it as if it is something. Well, that's not completely the truth. That's only 50% of the truth. And then the other side of it, which is, well, you have to transcend it, you have to constantly evolve beyond it, you're constantly moving beyond the human experience. The human experience is a problem in and of itself. Just be transcendent. Be the emptiness, be the nothingness. Well, that's only 50% the truth as well. What I've discovered is that there's a truth. There's an experiential truth and reality beyond both of these perspectives. And that is that you are both. That you are both. And this is why, even though we've had, 60, 70 years of spiritual exploration in the Western world, or more, let's say in its most popular manifestation, this is why so few people have been able to sustain states of connection. Because they've been holding on to it as an either or. Either I'm a human being, or I'm this infinity, I'm this potential. Or either I'm the infinity, or I'm a human being. And then they ping pong. It's like watching a tennis match. It's like watching Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal going back and forth at Wimbledon. And the ball just keeps going over the fence. And you just keep ping-ponging from being a human to being a nothingness, to being a human, to being an infinite potential, to being a human. And then you think something's malfunctioned. And then, depending on what side of the fence you were conditioned to believe in, you don't want to spend any time on the human side of things because that's wrong. That's the lower vibrational stuff. That's the stuff that diminishes you. You just want to be this infinite nothingness. And then if you were conditioned to be solely on the form and the phenomenon, well, then you make the infinite nothingness wrong and boring and useless. How am I doing? Leave me a 1 or yes in the chat. So, what does this mean? You don't have a problem. You don't have an issue. You're just afraid of your infinity. You're afraid of the unknown. And this is why you'd rather stay in the certainty and the comfort of the awakening than actually move into a deeper level of surrender and realize yourself as both. As all of it. Because as I experience you every day, you are an infinite being applying the highest level of plausible deniability about the fact that you're an infinite being. And every day some of you try and convince me that you're the exception to the rule. Now, just so you know, from my perspective, this is really humorous. Because it's the equivalent of walking into a room and there's a candle and the candle's lit and it's emanating light and it's beautiful and it provides some small moderate exposure of warmth, and then all of a sudden the candle denies that it's a candle. No, I'm not a candle. No, this is not light. This is not warmth. No, sorry. You're a candle. So it's so obvious to me that you are an infinite being. It's so obvious to me that there is this part of you, call it what you want, God, the divine, creation, source, the universe. I don't care what you call it. Neither does it. Just recognize that there is a higher power at work here, something greater than you, right? And that you are already that. Not only are you already that, but you are already one. Oneness isn't something that you attain. Liberation isn't something that you strive for. It's something that one day you relax into. And today's that day. Take some long, deep cleansing breaths and just allow your entire physical body to relax. So, just imagine for a moment that there's an invisible line running through the midline of your brain. And I happen to have a magic eraser that can make that line disappear. You can use your own magic eraser. We're just going to magically erase that false line of demarcation between form and formlessness. And we're just going to allow both aspects of yourself to merge together. Because they are both happening together right now. Leave me a 1 or yes in the chat when you begin to feel a shift in your state of being. So it's not your mother, it's your own fear of your infinity. It's not your boss, it's not the economy, it's not a government, it's your own fear of your infinity. It's your own fear of being what you already are. You're a candle denying that you're a candle. But you're a candle. No, I'm not. You're an infinite being. You're already in oneness. You're already enlightened. No, I'm not. And then you'll point to some part of it as evidence as to why you're not. Keep breathing, keep relaxing. So what if you're not the awakening? And what if you're not the infinite formlessness? What if you're just both at all times and you always have been? That they're both true. It's just you can't get the totality of the truth while you're standing on one side of the fence. So allowing everything to merge together, to blend together, because it already is. And just finally allowing yourself to settle into the totality of yourself. And also recognizing for the first time ever that all of that jibber-jabbering and lip-wrestling that you've been doing about all of these perceived problems that you have is just only ever your fear of the unknown and the infinite that you are. And the reason why you're afraid of it is because you see it or perceive it as something other than you, when it's not. You are both a wonderful human being and an infinite vibration and energy. You're both. Always have been. And nothing that happens at the level of your humanity can ever interfere or change the infinite vibration and energy that you are. Nothing. Just take a deep breath. So being human isn't something that you have to transcend. It's not a speed bump. It's not a hurdle. It's not getting in the way. It's the whole point. So now what happens when we allow ourselves to be both? Well, what happens is we allow this pure potential, this infinite energy to permeate this world. Breathe and relax and just allow it to flow through you. Just finally recognizing the purpose of why you're here, which is to be a bridge, to allow this infinite truth to make itself known in this world. So you actually don't have any problems or issues. You've only ever just been afraid of what you already are, a candle, a flashlight, a lighthouse, a beacon, a conduit, an instrument, a catalyst, a messenger. Whatever feels the most appropriate to you, a loving human being. And so everywhere you go, you represent the possibility of people connecting with the truth of themselves. Let me know when you begin to feel everything opening up and flowing through you, or just simply acknowledging that it always has been. Your denial of it doesn't change the fact that it's real and true. Fantastic. Good. And can you also see that you were kind of on one side of the fence? All of you people stuck in the room of awakening because something has value and you don't know what to do with the infinite nothingness. We're making the infinite nothingness wrong. You're afraid of it. And then those of you who are raised to believe that being human is the obstacle, that you have to meditate and pray and fast and transcend being a human being in order to know yourself, well, all of you are making the whole human thing wrong. But you're actually both. What happens when you just allow yourself to be both? Let me know how you're doing in the chat. And also recognizing that you've always been both. That's the whole point of your life. That's the whole reason why you are the way you are. So there is no separation. There is no disconnection. That's all an illusion. You are always infinitely connected. Well then, there is no waking up. There's just becoming aware of the fact that you are always awake and that you always have been. So even the awakening is an illusion. So just allowing the totality of all that you are to flow through you. Yes, I'm a human being. I have emotions, I have feelings, I think thoughts, I have a body. Stuff's going to happen today. And at the same time, I'm this infinite vibration, this infinite energy, this pure potential. And one is not getting in the way of the other. They are both equally at all times present within myself. And it's not about my mom or my siblings or my nieces or nephews or my children or whoever, the person that I've assigned the limitation to or that I keep projecting onto as the limitation. It's not about that. All along my whole life, I've just been afraid of being what I already am. Continuing to breathe and relax, and just allowing the two to merge together. The Western interpretation, that it's a light, a love, and a presence, that you can explain it, you can talk about it, you can write books about it. And then the Eastern interpretation, which is there are no words, there is no language, there is no teaching, there is no guru, there is no anything. There's just an infinite nothingness, emptiness. And you can see that they both don't exist in contradiction to each other. They perfectly bookend each other. And that you're right in the middle. So, welcoming everything that's going on, recognizing that nothing that happens today at the level of your humanity can in any way change the truth about the fact that you are this infinite vibration and light and this infinite potential. Take a deep breath. So there is no longer any need to resist or be afraid of any experience that you're having. Because the last time I checked, you beautiful human beings, even death isn't the end of you. So if death isn't the end of you, then how can anything in your life be the end of you? Leave me a one or yes in chat when you begin to feel a flow and expansion. Something's going on in there. Perfect. Good job, Sandy. So you're both. You're a human being and an infinite vibration, an infinite potential, infinite energy. You're both. You're having an experience and you're aware of the experience. It's not an either or, it's both. And just allowing the two to merge together. So this is actually perfectly depicted by the mystical depiction of the cross in Christian mysticism. The vertical axis of the cross is the infinity. The horizontal axis of the cross is your humanity. Where they both meet is you. The vertical axis of the cross is infinity, the formless. The horizontal axis of the cross is your humanity, form. Where they both meet is you. So the place where form and formlessness converge is where you are. The perfect intersection of form and formlessness is you. Hi, I identify as form and formlessness. Nice to meet you. Who are you? Form and formlessness. Who are you? Stop pretending. Come on. It's not working on me. You're form and formlessness too. Thank you very much. Cut out all this jibber-jabbering and lip-wrestling with all these problems. You're just afraid of your infinity. Let's get on with it. Take a breath. Take out your magic eraser. Let's just lovingly erase that false point of demarcation that isn't even real, that you're using to deny the fact that you're already you. Now, just for point of clarification, none of you have ever had me fooled. And some of you have really tried. But Panache, it's my mum. But Panache, it's my siblings. But Panache, it's being human. But Panache, it's being infinite nothingness. But Panache, I've heard it all. I've heard it all. And it's all just jibber-jabbering and lip-wrestling. I've heard it all. And all of it, every part of it, is all just the same thing. Breathing and relaxing and becoming aware of the vertical axis flowing through you of the infinite. And the horizontal axis flowing through the midline of your body right across your heart. And this symbolism is present in every culture, every tradition. The meeting of heaven and earth, the meeting of the infinite and the finite, the meeting of the divine and the human, the merging of the two. It's clearly depicted everywhere. It's just that while you were on one side of the fence, you couldn't see it. The Alpha and the Omega. The form and the formlessness. The particle and the wave, for my scientific friends. You're both the particle and the wave. Take a deep breath. How are you doing? How are you feeling? So completion then, is being both. As of today, I identify as a form and a formlessness. Nice to meet you. What do you do? Well, I'm a form and formlessness. It's my purpose in life. Nice to meet you. By the way, you are too, even though you're going to deny it. The only problem is with me, you can't deny it. Because I know that you don't have problems and issues, you're just afraid of your infinity. You're afraid of what you already are. I think for me, this was the most pronounced when all these channelings and readings came out about me and all these interpretations came out about me. Because I, in some way, felt that people were going to find out that I was something that I already was. So you're afraid of, of, of people discovering who you really are. And every channeling or reading was pretty conclusive. Yeah, it is what it is. So today, what are you? The intersection of the form and the formless. Nice to meet you. Do you have problems and issues? No. You're just afraid of the unknown. You're afraid of the infinity. Take a breath. And then just accept the fact that you're both. If I could reach through the screen and give you all a big hug, I would right now. I'm so proud of you all. This is massive today. For people to actually be able to get this means that we are edging ever closer to 1,000 years of peace and harmony and collaboration and cooperation. Because this has been the biggest sticking point ever. Thanks for being here. So, Laurel. Stop typing Om Shanti. Oh, thank you, Peggy. And then Laura Lynn. 1,526 call to calm days expressed over 1,963 calendar days. Blimey. That's amazing. That's quite the statistic, Laura Lynn. Thanks, Julie. Miss seeing you. Okay, everyone. Close your eyes and breathe and relax. Good morning, sweet friends, and welcome to another Call to Calm meditation. Sweetheart, you don't have problems and you don't have issues. You're just afraid of the unknown. You're afraid of your infinity. And you falsely keep attributing this fear to your mum, your cat, your dog, your goldfish, your ex, your future, your former, your kids, your grandkids, the government, aliens, whatever, ants. When we both know that it has nothing to do with any of that. This has to do with your own lack of willingness to be what you already are. And here's why. You're an adorable human being. And you're an infinite energy and vibration at the same time. At the same time. You're both. And that now we can stop making one part of it wrong, or stop needing to overcome one aspect of it, and we can just get on with being it all. The form and the formlessness. So you don't have problems and issues. You've just been afraid of the unknown, afraid of your own infinity. Close your eyes, you beautiful human beings. Open your palms and take some long, deep cleansing breaths. Resting in the awareness of your breath transforms your life into a living meditation. allowing your every inhalation and exhalation to support you in accessing a place of calm and peace within you. So this morning, it's time to out you. Every prophecy, every channeling, every reading, every indigenous civilization and culture, your ancestors, every great being who ever walked the earth was right about you. Recognizing this morning that being human is the whole point, it's the purpose. Because when people meet your humanity, they meet the infinity that dwells within them. That the whole point of this human thing is to make the infinite accessible and knowable. So, with every breath becoming aware of yourself. Some of you feel anxious right now. Just acknowledge the presence of the anxiety and also recognizing that there's an awareness of the anxiety. Relaxing into it. That you are both the experience that you're having and the awareness of the experience that you're having. You don't have to pick chocolate or vanilla. You can have a swirl, beloved. Continuing to rest in the awareness of your breath. Allowing yourself to be what you are. The perfect intersection of form and formlessness. A human being and an infinite energy and vibration all at the same time. With every breath, recognizing that you don't have problems or issues. That there is nobody powerful enough to prevent you from being who you are and fulfilling your purpose on this planet. Continuing to welcome your every inhalation and exhalation. And recognizing that you are this infinite potential and you are this wonderful human being. So every prophet, every messenger, anyone who ever had a direct experience of the truth was right about you. Continuing to rest in the awareness of your breath. No longer needing to make it about anyone else. No longer needing to make it about a circumstance or a situation. Instead, knowing what I know about you, that you're a wonderful human being, and You're an infinite energy and vibration. Breathe and relax, allowing yourself to become aware of the totality of all that you are, all that you've always been. No longer needing to fear who and what you already are. Yes, I'm a human being. And yes, I'm an infinite energy, an infinite vibration, infinite pure potential. And that's the whole point and purpose of my life. With every breath, your fear of being what you already are falling away. Seeing yourself walking through the permeable wall, flying through the self-imposed ceiling, and coming through the other side as a unified, whole, and complete human being. And acknowledging for the first time ever that you are always a unified, whole, and complete human being. So today, I allow myself to be profoundly human. And I allow myself to be this infinite pure potential that is my truth. Continuing to rest in the awareness of your breath. And allowing what once seemed to be two different things to just finally merge together. I'm both sides of the coin. I'm the coin itself. And I don't have issues and problems. I've just been afraid of my own infinity, of being what I already am, being what I've always been. So today, I allow myself to be it all. Every great being, every indigenous civilization and culture, every saint, sage, prophet, messenger, and messiah was right about you. You are the perfect intersection of form and formlessness, of human and infinity. And the world has in fact been waiting for you. Take some breaths, you adorable humans. And just let me know how you feel. The Mayans were right about you. The Toltecs were right about you. Everything in the Vedas is right about you. The Pleiadians were right about you. The Essenes were right about you. Kabbalistic Rebbes were right about you. Every ecstatic saint and sage was right about you. Rumi was right about you. Everyone was right about you. You're the perfect intersection of adorable human being and infinite energy, infinite vibration. The vertical axis of the cross is infinity. The horizontal axis is form and phenomenon, everything related to being human. Those two things are not in contradiction to each other. They complement each other perfectly. You are both. You always have been. So cut out your lip wrestling and jibber jabbering and your futile attempts to try and convince me that you're something other than adorable. Because I haven't believed you, and I will not believe you, because I happen to know the truth about you. Everywhere you go, you bring this infinite, pure potential with you. And people around you get to remember themselves as that infinite, pure potential as well. Beloved, it's showtime. If you thought July was great, you have no clue. August is about to blow your mind in every possible and conceivable way. So make sure you like, comment, post, and subscribe on YouTube. And also, whenever you're coming out of the closet as an infinite being, the only person that you ever have to come out to is yourself. Everyone else in your life already knows that you're an infinite being, beloved. Everyone's just waiting on you to finally just acknowledge it. Okay? So today's your coming out day. You now identify as form and formlessness. When people ask you what you do, you vibrate. Update your LinkedIn. Update your resumes. Make sure you add this to the subtitle line under your social media posts. It's time to let the world know who you really are. The perfect intersection of form and formlessness. What do? Vibrate. Everywhere I go as a human being, I bring the infinite with me, so that my fellow human beings can remember their own infinity. How do you do that? I vibrate. Got it? Send you all my love. There you have it. Now we all know the truth about you. You're a vibrating human. Human vibrator. Battery's not included. It's infinite battery. Don't have to charge it. No recharging it. Okay. Today's Wednesday. Group alignment session today. Now, hello. Whenever you're ready to stop denying the truth of who you are, come to a group alignment session. Can't wait. Also, this Sunday, we're going to focus on exactly this. Completion. What is completion? How do we embody completion? By accepting the fact that we're already complete. I can't wait to see you on Sunday. If you can't make these midweek group alignment sessions, which are bananas, I'll see you on Sunday. Send you all my love. Thanks for being in my life. And remember, every indigenous civilization and culture, every prophet, messenger, and messiah, every saint, sage, and great being from every tradition, every person who had a direct experience of the truth was right about you. You can't hide from me. Now get out there and be who you are. A human vibrator. Love you. Infinitely. I'll see you later. Head on over to panachesite.com for more info. Okay. Bye-bye.